Welcome to Surpassing Labels, brought to you by the Spiral Current. This is a space for slowing down, for noticing what moves beneath the noise, for remembering who you are beneath what you've had to carry. There's no pressure here, no performance, just awareness. I'm Felicia, and I'm really glad you're here. Hi there. I'm really glad you're here. Before we go anywhere, before we talk about anything, I just want to take a breath with you. There's nothing you need to do while you listen to this. Nothing to figure out, nothing to improve. Just be here. This season is going to feel a little different, not because the heart of this space has changed, but because I have, and maybe you have too. Surpassing Labels has always been about looking beyond the identities we're handed, the roles we carry, or the stories that we inherit. But what I've come to understand more deeply is this. It's not the labels themselves that keep us stuck. It's the ways we have learned to survive inside of them, and how normal that started to feel. The ways we learned to stay strong, to stay functional, to stay fine, even when something inside of us felt a little off. Over the past few years, the way I hold this work has shifted. It hasn't gotten smaller or quieter, just a lot more honest. I've become less interested in just helping people become better versions of themselves, and more interested in creating spaces where people feel safe enough to hear themselves again. There's a difference. Safety, it shifts something. When the body feels safe enough, something important becomes possible. We can finally notice, we can listen, and eventually we can choose. Now, you might hear me reference something called the spiral current this season. And I want to say this gently. It's not a rebrand or a pivot. It's just a way of describing the field that I've been living in. A field where emotional state matters more than performance, where awareness comes before strategy, and where listening becomes the doorway. It's the understanding that long before we think about life, we feel it. And if the body doesn't feel safe, it doesn't matter how insightful the advice is, it will not land. So this season isn't about teaching, it's about noticing. Noticing the undercurrents we've been swimming in, the strength we've never questioned, the ways we've been holding ourselves together without realizing how tight we've been holding. There's no here's what to do next, just an invitation to be here differently. I've realized something recently. Most people believe they're listening to themselves, but often they are listening from a place shaped by protection, through adaptation, through the version of themselves that has learned what was acceptable and what wasn't. And I don't say that with any kind of judgment. That adaptation is what has kept us connected. It kept us safe, and it kept us loved. But sometimes what kept us safe then may keep us small now. And no one tells you when it's safe to put that down. You don't have to agree with everything I say. You don't have to change anything in your life. But maybe, as you listen to this season, you'll start to feel a little something. A pause where there used to be urgency. A deeper exhale where there used to be holding. A question rising where there used to be an automatic agreement. And that's enough. This season is about that moment. The moment where you begin to wonder, is this the only way to live? Is this the only way to be strong? Is this the only way to hold everything? And instead of answering those questions immediately, we sit with them. Because clarity doesn't come from pressure. It comes from presence. You may notice the space feels slower, and that's intentional. We live in a world that rewards speed, certainty, hot takes, and fixes. But real shifts happen quietly. They happen later, privately, on your own timeline. Nothing here will demand that you change. Nothing here will ask you to perform growth. If anything, this season might actually feel like permission. Permission to notice how your life feels in your body. Permission to question. Permission to want something different without knowing what that different is yet. If you've been surviving for a long time, you might not even realize how much effort it's been taking. You might think this is just adulthood, just responsibility, just how it is. And maybe some of it is. But maybe some of it's bracing. Maybe some of it's vigilance that never fully powers down. Maybe some of it's strength that never gets to rest. We're going to gently explore that, not to dismantle your life, but to make space inside of it. So if you're new here, welcome. And if you've been here for years, thank you for growing with me. This season isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before you had to become so functional. Before you learned to hold everything. Before you decided, I'm fine, was good enough. You don't have to believe any of this now. Just listen. Notice what lands. Notice what doesn't. Notice what your body does. That's where this begins, not in your thoughts, in your felt experience. We're not rushing. We're not fixing. We're not performing transformation. We're creating space. And sometimes space is the most radical thing we can offer. I'm really glad you're here for this. Until next time, just notice what's already here. That's enough. With love, Felicia.